Indiana Borough Police Chief Justin Schawl joins us this morning, presented by Marcus and Mack, voted best law firm and best personal injury lawyer 4 years in a row in the Best of Indiana County contest. Visit them online at marcusandmack.com. I think everybody by now is aware that yesterday we had another fatal pedestrian vehicle accident, and the second one in which two people's lives were lost. This one on Philadelphia Street at 7th, the other one earlier this year on Philadelphia Street at 9th, involving pedestrians crossing the street in the walkways. And Chief Schawl, I know that first of all, it's tragic, and it gets people on the alert again. We hope everybody is on the alert all the time. But if you could share with us the latest information on what the investigation is and where it's leading.
Well, first and foremost, I want to acknowledge that it was a horrific tragedy occurred yesterday in downtown Indiana, and several lives are forever impacted. And my sincere condolences to everyone who was impacted. And I want to acknowledge that nothing that I'm going to say here today is going to meet this moment, and nothing that I can possibly say here today will have any impact in the lives that are already altered. So I want to have this conversation. I appreciate you inviting me to speak this morning, and we'll give you all the information that we have. But in meeting the moment, this was a true tragedy, and I'm sorry that our community is navigating this. I'm sorry to the families of everyone involved who are navigating this. And traffic and pedestrian safety are extremely important and near and dear to the hearts of everyone in downtown Indiana, and we have to have a safe throughway. There's no question about that. So that's really where I want to start. Your second question was?
Well, where the investigation stands right now, I know there's not a whole lot you can say because it's ongoing.
So Coroner Overman, who is a great partner to the police department, has identified publicly the pedestrians who were involved in the crash, and I believe that that's already been reported. We had an immediate police response from the Indiana Borough Police Department, our partners at the Sheriff's Department, our partners at the Pennsylvania State Police, District Attorney Manzi in the Indiana County District Attorney's Office, Citizens Ambulance Service, Indiana Fire Service, and the Alice Paul House helped us with that on-scene investigation. We have our investigators have been working yesterday into the evening and have started again this morning, putting pieces and information together. I can tell you that I would consider our investigation just beginning into this crash. It is going to be an extensive investigation because it has to be, because it's a major investigation, because we don't want to be reckless or premature with the information that we're given. I can tell you that we will determine a factor or all factors to the crash. We understand we understand some of the picture already. It's just too early for me to want to talk about it publicly before it's able to be released. But these were pedestrians crossing the roadway, and this is a partner agency in Indigo that supports Indiana's residents and is tasked with getting our community safely, our non-motoring public safely to where they go. And so again, I will tell you what we're talking about today is a true tragedy that affects us all.
The broader and more immediate concern now this morning becomes keeping everybody safe when they're crossing the street. Extensive investigation after the accident here earlier this year, and recommendations and study and all of those things are going to better inform us as to how to keep people safe in downtown Indiana or anywhere where pedestrians are crossing the street. But there are things that people are concerned about, and the biggest concern is everybody, the people behind the wheel and the people who are on foot, being extra vigilant about when they are crossing and doing so safely.
Yes. So the following comments that I'm going to make are not directed specifically at the crash at 7th and Philadelphia Street, because again, I want to be clear with you and everyone that this is very much an active investigation, and I don't want anything that I say to lead a listener or anyone in our community to believe that I'm speaking specifically about the crash at 7th and Philadelphia Street. But generally speaking, our intersections are the same today as they have been, the same form that they have been for the past several years. Our lights cycle in the same way as they have for the past few years. And so, we absolutely must be cognizant of the law and the responsibility that we have, not only as motorists but also as pedestrians in crossing the street. We've talked many times about pedestrians being distracted and on phones. We've talked many times about our young population perhaps not paying as much attention as they need to as they walk across the street, or really our older adult population not paying as much attention. And also our motorists are more distracted. We have distracted driving laws that are much needed and are going to give the police departments all over Pennsylvania leverage to be more active in enforcement of distracted driving. But we all have responsibility. And, I say this knowing that everything I'm going to say is going to fall short of meeting this moment, because lives were impacted. And so I don't want anyone to believe otherwise. I will fall short. But I will also tell you, I'm a parent with children who walk up and down Philadelphia Street. I'm a husband with a wife who walks up and down Philadelphia Street. My parents walk up and down Philadelphia Street. My friends and great partners are business owners on Philadelphia Street. And half of the folks driving around in a car today are our Indiana County and Indiana Borough residents. So this isn't a matter of us being against each other. This isn't the matter, I believe. Most of our traffic safety problems are someone intentionally wanting to hurt somebody. We are not, as a group, I think there's more on our minds today than there perhaps have been in the past. There are more distractions, or we are more easily distracted, and we have to pay attention, and we have to be patient, and we have to talk to our kids and our parents, and we have to be, when we cross the street, I'm asking that everyone watch out for everyone else. I want us to expect that the person that we are looking at is not seeing us. They're looking right through us. And I think that when we continue to care for each other like that, and then we add the police department and the community's ability to message and educate, and we offer engineering, we're offer engineering suggestions to our partners, and the police department is enforcing the traffic laws, and we're making the traffic stops and holding folks accountable, that's the safety picture. It's education, enforcement, and engineering. It is a whole of community problem and approach. We're all going to be safer when we're looking out for each other and working together than we can possibly be on our own. And I'll say this, and then I'll stop talking for a second, but once a tragedy has occurred, the police department can investigate it, and investigate it professionally, and investigate it well. But I want to prevent and use as much resource as we can to prevent the tragedy from occurring. And none of us are going to be able to quantify how many times we've prevented a tragedy from occurring. But if I never have to investigate another crash, I never have to look at someone who's grieving, I never have to see tragedy, and this goes for all of us, that is the best service that we can possibly be for each other.
When we talk about behaviors as pedestrians and as drivers, there are certain habits that we get into that are going to negatively influence our behaviors. One is the overall mentality that we have now as drivers of we have to beat the light. And this is not connected to any of the incidents that we've been discussing this morning, but drivers try to beat the light. Pedestrians try to beat their light as well. We're going to zip over here. We're going to step out of the crosswalk and maybe cut that corner a little bit. All of these different things are going to play a role in what will eventually be a tragedy, and things catch up to people. Yeah. And unfortunately, the result is we have very devastating things that impact lives for a very long time. It's an idea of, yes, we're a very hurried society today, but especially when there is the mix of vehicles and people on foot, we need to slow down.
So Indiana Borough is the county seat, and we're a growing community, and we're going to just continue to be a growing community. And with all of the positives that are going to be that are speculated and that we're already seeing in the community, we should expect more folks downtown, not less, and we should want that. There are things that we can do, and there are things that I believe Indiana Borough Council is wanting to do as soon as possible for them to secure a safer pedestrian passage, and at the same point in time recognizing the business and things like that. But there's a level, no matter what we do, there's going to be a level of personal accountability. And that personal accountability is a very important piece of the puzzle because, we need to be, like you said, we need to be going slow. We need to be patient. We need to put our phones down. We need as pedestrians to consider that we aren't being seen. And we can say, until really we're blue in the face that, well, that's not my responsibility, or I shouldn't have to do that. And I recognize that. But we all need to have conversations with the people that we love and say that, that few extra seconds of your time, that few extra seconds of diligence, may prevent something really terrible from happening. And if we can prevent it working together, that's the most optimum state for the community. It's a shallow victory. It's a shallow victory for me to say, I know who did it, I know why they did it, and they're going to be held accountable. Because although it's a victory, it does not bring back, and it can't possibly bring back, and it can't possibly erase the images of the folks that are forever impacted.
The specifics of Indiana Borough, I think, play a role in this as well, and specifically thinking of the Philadelphia Street corridor and the understanding that folks need to have that, as Don Lancaster said, in the committee meeting is going to be held tonight, public safety, PennDOT has a role to play in this because that's a state road, and in terms of developing policy and changing protocols in downtown Indiana, PennDOT has the ultimate say there, and Indiana Borough is obviously going to follow those laws and rules, but PennDOT has to make the judgment there as to what is the best solution for the intersections here on Philadelphia Street.
So a few things with that. Number one, Public Safety Committee meeting is not tonight. Tonight is an administration meeting for Indiana Borough Council.
Yeah.
Those are open to the public, but it's not a public safety heavy agenda.
Yeah.
With that, Philadelphia Street is a state highway. We have a few state roadways that come through Indiana Borough, and that requires that we always work together. I will tell you from my purview as chief of police that we have a very strong relationship with PennDOT and PennDOT's traffic safety division. And so we have been working together, and we continue to work together. And again, nothing I say is going to meet this moment. And the emotion of today dictates that perhaps nobody should care about what I'm saying about our working relationship with PennDOT because a tragedy has occurred. But I just want to make sure that I say this, and you'll hear this again, that we are working towards it. We have been working towards recommendations for council. I will tell you, I do not believe that PennDOT is being difficult or evasive in these conversations. And I know that sentiment is out there. I believe that this is a timing issue, that everyone has been working as quickly as possible, but to change the cycles, if council has the interest in doing so, which again, I believe some significant changes are going to be considered by Borough Council in very short order. But if for those changes to be long-term, they weren't able to happen quickly enough for this tragedy to be avoided. But I would offer you that even if we do harden our intersections, the reality is that unless we're working together, there's nothing about a steady red signal that stops a car from driving through it except for the operator. And there's nothing that will stop a pedestrian from crossing against a light except their own self-control. And so it's not going to be the final fix. It's going to be, and these are important discussions. They've been ongoing. At our next public safety meeting, excuse me, at our next public safety meeting, we'll be unpacking what we've been doing, again, reporting to council, what we've been doing from a public safety approach and with our partners at PennDOT that bring us to this moment in time. But it falls short. And I'm sorry that I keep reflecting that, but that's really what I'm feeling this morning. And it's not intentional, but lives were lost. First responders saw horrible things. Families are going to be dealing with this for the rest of their life. Our business community was subjected to something that they shouldn't have been. Our partners were hurt. It's just, it's terrible.
Borough Police, we're going to run out of time here soon, but I did want to ask you, Borough Police, are you considering more patrols in downtown, more ticketing of drivers who violate more, and even pedestrian tickets as well, just to raise that awareness and to make people be more cautious? Is that under consideration?
Yes. Yes. There's no police officer that I know with Indiana Borough, the Sheriff's Department, the state police, that finds something like this to be acceptable. We operate under a public safety strategy. We operate under a traffic safety strategy, and we're going to continue to plug in for that. And certainly you should expect, if you're going to violate the traffic law on Philadelphia Street, that you're going to be met with an enforcement aspect. But we're not going to stop educating, and we're not going to stop making engineering requests and suggestions either.
Chief, I want to thank you so much for coming over to visit with us today. I know how hard this is for anybody within Indiana Borough, but for those who have to respond to something like this, for the families of those affected, it's a very, very difficult day.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank our partners. And again, just my heartfelt condolences to all involved.
Indiana Borough Police Chief Justin Schawl with us this morning. It is Indiana in the Morning on WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com.